Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 9 of All the Mods 3 Expert Mode. Today we're going to continue with this pack by going down the the magic side of tier 2, which means we're going to start with all the Thaumcraft stuff. Let's bookmark it all and get to crafting. Alright, so I guess we'll go in order. Right click a bookshelf with say list buttons. I actually wonder, does our book, what was it called? Oh, that's right, it's a Akashic tome. Does it include, how do I do it? Shift left click. Does it include a, not by the looks of it, huh? Okay, then let's make one. So we have to start by making Salus Mundus. This, take 3 different, okay, so it's any 3 crystals, mana powder, and mortar and pestle. So, you know what? I have a feeling we're actually going to need a lot more Botania mana than we have now. So maybe before we get into Thaumcraft, let's look to improve our Botania mana. So I've been told in the comments that if I find something called a Nature's Core from the Random Things mod, one of these, it doesn't have a recipe, but if I find one, I can move it back to my base and have it automatically feed our Munch Dew to, produce mana. However, I've looked around a little bit and I just can't find one. So instead of spending, an hour running around the world looking for like a random block that I could, if I had one, I could make the scanner, right, and use the block, here we go, the block module to try to look for more. But if until you get your first one, you can't do that. So why don't we instead try to build a system to automate one of these 2 flowers? And I'm thinking the food flower might just be easier than the tree flower, given the options we have in this pack. So I took a quick look at some of our food options. I pinned a few. Potato bread here seems very easy because you have to feed the flower to excuse me. You have to feed the flower to at least 2 different types of food. So in the process of making potato bread, we'll basically grow potatoes and wheat, and then we bake the potatoes and turn it into potato bread, right? But sometimes you just don't bake the potato and give it a baked potato. That way, you end up feeding the flower both baked potatoes and potato bread, and therefore you get both types. You satisfy its demand for 2 types of food. I think you get a similar effect with cornbread here. You can alternate between bread and cornbread. And actually, there's one more that I recently found that I forgot to pin. That would be, once again, it's bread, but we can do regular vanilla bread, which, let's see, what's the easiest way to, can I get, yeah, if I make one of the forms of flour, I think. Not with that one. Yeah, if we macerate it, then we can cook it to get 1-to-1, if we care that much. But anyways, we can do bread and toast. So actually that might just be easier because it only requires planting 1 plant. So let's go make a farm. In fact, I'll make another farmer. We'll just plant it over, yeah, I guess I could just put it over here. And then we'll have it grow wheat to feed our Gourmeleas. As for how to power these things here, I think I'm going to use this Spectre Coil. It doesn't generate much RF, but 8 RF a tick is enough to power this farmer here. Some of you told me in the comments that it produces 128. And in fact, the tooltip even says it produces 128. Oh, no, it doesn't anymore. It used, oh no, okay, so here it says produces 128, but the tooltip says it produces 8. I think it's been nerfed in the pack. But 8 RF a tick is enough to power this farmer, assuming I don't go overboard with crop acceleration. Using these 111 seeds here might not get the job done. They're a little slow for my taste. Now, if I use a watering can, it speeds it up a lot, but obviously I can't stand here holding a watering can over it. So I think what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to level these seeds up to 10-10-10 pretty quickly. Shouldn't take that long, right? So if I just pick it all up, I'll do this batch manually, but I'll follow the same procedure I usually do. So you plant 1 plant in the middle, plant the seed, grow it, and then I'm going to need a few more crop sticks in this, but put crop sticks around the side, watering can that until it spreads. You can also just use clippers for this part, but I find this a little bit easier. Except that my watering can runs out of water awfully quickly. Come on, plants, take your time. I should do this in my other plot where I have the sprinklers, but whatever. Anyways, once that grows, put double sticks in the middle, watering can that again. And this might take like 10 minutes, but since I'm only doing a single seed, it shouldn't be that bad. I don't know if this pack has changed some mechanic with this, but I, for the life of me, cannot get these crops to spread back into these double sticks. I'm even, as you can see here, I'm using double watering cans, and it's still not going anywhere. So I suspect maybe the crop breeding mechanics have changed. I actually didn't know could change them, but maybe I'll take a quick look at the configs. There we go, it spread once. It did it while I was reading the configs. So I discovered something, and that is that single-sided stat increases are on in this pack, which means I can actually just make a big snake of crops and let them grow on their own. So actually, I'm going to set up an area to do that, to grow to 10-10-10 crops passively. In fact, if I look at the MBT data here, we can see that this crop here is already, whoopsies, I have an update. 1 second. Thanks, Windows. I really appreciate you letting me know that you have an update for me. Anyways, you can see that this crop here is already 2-1-1. So, this takes a little bit of space, and all it has to do, it just has to be chunk loaded, so I'll probably just build it out of the way here. Essentially, this is the same system I used in my Project Ozone series. You plant the first seed here. When it grows, it'll spread, to the next one. That process goes all the way down the line to the end here, and then loops back and repeats. And by the time the seed gets to the end, that gets back to the start here, it should be perfect statted. Now, in fact, it'll probably perfect statted well before it reaches the end here, but just at some point it'll on average, I'd expect some point in this range, it'll reach 10-10-10 stats, but the rest will just grow reasonably quickly. So this, unfortunately though, because I don't have any growth boosters here, will take its sweet time. Maybe I should set up some sprinklers. Forget it. I'll set up this system here using just basic, 1-1-1 wheat seeds for now. And then when that over there is done growing my seeds, I'll swap them out for good seeds. We'll be using mechanical crafters to do the crafting from wheat into, whatever other forms, because mechanical crafters just don't take power. And I don't really want to run a power line from there out to here, and I don't yet have access to wireless energy. So anyways, the way this works, farmer obviously gathers the wheat, sends it over to the crafter here, turns it into bread. We extract from the bread with round robin mode, and we insert 2 sides into the drawer and only 1 side into the one insertion into the next crafter, because the bread turns into toast at a 1-to-2 ratio. This way we produce bread and toast at approximately a 1-to-1 ratio. If I had speed downgrades in here, it would be exactly a 1-to-1 ratio, but I don't, because making those requires electrical steel, which is for now anyways, I'd have to make it in here, which takes steel, and that's not happening. But now all we have to do is drop these 2 at the right, with the right timings. Basically, we want to drop one, then the other, alternate with a couple seconds in between, within range of the Gormalays. And here, while it is unsightly as all hell, is the control system, timing system for feeding the flour. As recall, before the food gets put into here, or these drawers, from there they're extracted on their different channels. Oopsies. 1 into each dropper, bread in there, toast in here, and then need to put a block here so I can get up. We have a timer currently set to 5 seconds that takes it, each time it ticks, it advances both of these counters. They're both 2 counters that are offset by 1. So essentially, every other counter, every other tick will fire one or the other. Now that we have access to proper redstone devices from RF Tools, we can, have much smaller controlled timing devices instead of something that looks like that. Anyways, let's turn it on and see how it works. I do have to take my magnet off for now because I haven't made the plant that disables magnets locally. Why is it not eating? Hello, Cornelius. Let's turn this. Oh wait, there it goes. It's just taking its sweet time, I guess. Wait, what's happening? Why is the food still on the ground? That was weird. I'm gonna turn it back on and see what exactly happens. Normally, if you drop it food while it's still eating, it just eats the extra food without producing mana. And normally, it's also super quick about eating food. Like, it doesn't let food linger. Let me check. Is my server lagging? Nope, no lag here. I actually think what's happening is those are ghost items. Those items aren't actually there, are they? No, they are. I can actually eat it if I tried. Well, I'm full. I can actually, put it into another inventory. Yeah, they're not ghost items. Well, in any event, it seems like our flower's producing mana. So I don't know why the items linger on the ground, but I guess I just won't worry about it for now. In any event, this is our very basic mana automation. It'll take it the better part of literally forever to fill this mana pool because we have a single flower feeding it. And if I had my wand, I would show you that right now our mana pool is still about 0% full. But that's okay, it's automated now. So yeah, this will produce mana for us. We needed some of that mana now to make dust. So I have to take some of this glowstone dust, throw it in here. Thankfully, this process doesn't take terribly much mana. We didn't have much in the pool at all, right? But we were still able to make 12 mana powder. And then we can turn that into Salus Mundus, hopefully. I think I have a mortar and pestle in here. Yeah, I just make all 12. There we go. All right, cool. So now that we have Salus Mundus, we can make the next few things. The Arcane Workbench and the Thaumanomicon. Those are done by right-clicking. I guess we have to do the bookshelf first. Doesn't look like I can click the crafting table yet. But that gives us our Thaumanomicon. And now we have to begin the research. I think once you do this, you can make the Arcane Bookshelf. Am I doing something wrong? I don't know what I did wrong. I clicked it again and it worked, and I wasn't recording. But whatever. We have our Arcane Workbench now. Cool. So that's that and that. Next up, then, we'll just, I guess for now, we'll follow the research steps. Next up, we have to make a thermometer and start doing research, I think, because we need a fundamentals research point. All right, so then we need a research table and scribing tools. For now, I'll put our Thaumcraft stuff here. It's a little bit out of the way of our base. You know, it's close enough to be easy to access and far enough away that I don't think the flux effects will randomly destroy something at our base. Anyways, let's you put your scribing tools on the table. It becomes a research table. And I think that continues this. Did make a scribing tools. I'll make another one. I think what it might be is that I've been crafting these with the storage tablet, and when I crafted in the storage tablet, it's not crediting me with the craft. Yeah, when I crafted in my own inventory. So that's something to keep in mind if you have to these tasks that are like crafting tasks. You'll want to do them with in your inventory. Anyways, do I have any knowledge? I do not. There's random drops that you can get when mining that sometimes can be used to bypass research. So if I'm going to do research the old-fashioned way, I need paper, of which I only have a little bit, but tense enough to get started. And you hit the Create Theory button. And then your goal is to get enough points to gain research. So let's see. I'm going to do a few off camera to refresh myself on how to do this because it's very confusing. So I've been doing some research and all I've been getting really is this energetics. And I think that's because I haven't actually discovered the other research types yet. So you see like energetics, matter, energy, whatever. And because I don't have enough like light bulbs here, I can't get it to 100%, so it's very inefficient. I think what I actually want to do that instead is make the thermometer and start scanning things. So I need mana, steel, and gold plates. Let me do some crafting. It's only been like 5 minutes maybe, and we actually have about 1/8 of a mana pool. It's not half bad. We do. It sounds like we are out of food because our crops here grow a little bit too slowly. But when we upgrade those to the better plants, I should take care of that problem. Anyways, now I can throw refined iron in there, and you can see that little bit of mana does a lot of work. So don't worry that the mana pool's not full. Anyways, now I have to turn all this into plates. At first, I thought this recipe was mana steel plates and gold plates. There's a very sneaky mana glass pane in there. Anyways, let's make a handful of these. Thermometers, I'm pretty sure they're used to make goggles of revealing. So, yeah, they're one of the items we'll use plenty of in there. I mean, I guess they're not that bad to make. Anyways, a couple ways to scan items. First, you can just scan them in the world. Scan, nothing to learn. Anyways, you can scan items in the world. You can scan items in your inventory. And you see there when I scanned that, I got like an icon. Those are research points. So we need those research points to, do research. But the best way to scan items is to scan them in chests. In fact, I'm not sure if crates work. There we go. It scans everything in the crate, or at least it scans the first 100 items in the crate. And I don't think you can scan that. Well, that scans a block, but not everything in it. Anyways, by scanning a handful of things around here, I should gain enough starting research points that I can, start, doing research. Alright, good enough for now. Let's head back to our research table. And as we scan things, additional tabs will open up. So this tells us about ores. This tells us about plants. But now that you see, because we scanned something that gave us fundamental research points, we can complete this. Cool. Now what's this telling us to do? I think we're done with that step. So now, again, because we've already scanned something alchemy and fundamentals related, it wants us to make a crucible. All right, so to make a crucible, we need a cauldron. And I believe we just have to splash Salus Mundus on it. I typically like to seat the cauldron in the ground and go. And then to make it work, we'll also have to give it heat. So that'll be in the form of a netherrack fire, like so. And supply it with water. Water. I guess we'll just use the aqueous accumulator. Alright, now our crucible is filled with water. When you have a crucible filled with water, you can shift right click it to empty it. That dumps everything, including the aspects that are in it, into the air. However, there's one thing to keep in mind you want to be slightly careful about. What's something that's pretty low? You know what, let me grab some quartz. I don't have individual pieces. How can I turn this into individual pieces of quartz? Can I? Oh, hello, lag. Pole farthers that don't have one of those. Oh, cool. I can make fused quartz in the smeltery. Anyways, not what I'm looking for. Alright, there's no machines that can do it at my current tech level, but I wonder. Haha! Compacting jars can. Awesome. These quartz slivers can be used to clean up anything that's left over in a crucible. So for instance, I toss some dirt in there, and then I can toss these in there. Or not. Maybe they're... Dirt contains... Yeah. Why did this not suck it up? Oh, I haven't learned how to do it yet. I see. Anyways, what I want to do, or what I want to warn you about, is that right-clicking an object on the crucible puts it in there. So if you want to scan your crucible with a thermometer, shift right-click it. I've put thermometers into crucibles before, if you couldn't tell. Moving on. I think at this point I can now... Nope, I need to learn basic alchemy before I can do that. Alright, so what does... let's see, this just completes... I think what this lets me do is I can... it might have to be the night sky. But I can use the thermometer to scan the sky. Yeah, I think it has to be the night sky. And you can get research points out of it. But it's not nighttime right now. Anyways, moving on. I want to... I guess I want to get into infusion. So that should unlock a new tab. There we go. So anyways, I'm going to do some research here. Most of this research is not very exciting. It's just like click the complete button, or sometimes it's like go get some of these items and then click the complete button. Also, I have to get a theory point. So now that I need the theory point, actually, let's start here. What did this do? I don't know. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. Let's just follow the quest book. So it wants us to make the crucible, which I already did. I'll pick it up real quick to just complete the quest. And niter, alchemical brass, and thaumium. Let's bookmark those just so I see the recipes. I might also have to go into alchemy here and learn their appropriate recipes. So alchemical brass I've now unlocked. And I think now I'm allowed to throw quartz shards into crucibles, yeah, to get their contents out. Now if I throw, what here has something in it that I don't mind throwing away? Let's get more dirt. So now if I throw some dirt in there, I can then throw, there we go, throw vis crystals in. I'm missing. Throw the dirt in, and then throw the vis crystals in, and that both cleans the crucible out so I don't release flux into the air, and gives you these Terra vis crystals, which are, nice to have. Now the basic ones you can find out in the world. There's like the various elements. Here we are: air, terra, ignis, aqua, ordo, and perdicio, all world gen. But the rest of these you have to make if you need them for whatever reason. Anyways, I'm going to make alchemical brass next. The recipe for alchemical brass is to throw an iron ingot into a crucible while it has 5 or more instrumentium in it. Now, to get instrumentium in it, you have to throw one of these items in. Typically, you want to find something that is reasonably pure in the aspect that you're using. So I'm gonna go through these tabs a little bit, see if I find something that's both reasonably easy to craft and high in instrumentium. Because all the other components you'll have to clean up with quartz slivers when you're done. So, yeah, give me 1 second. I'm sure I can find something that's at least mostly instrumentium. Well, folks, it's time to get better than 100%, so we can do wooden tools, as wooden shovels will do. So we want a handful of these. Oh, I can't craft them, but never mind. Alright then, I guess stone tools will have to suffice. They're not pure, but they're good enough. And I'll do shovels again. Alright, so let's make a handful of these. And what you want to do is throw these in. And then throw this in until it... Let's see, you can check how much is in there by looking at it with a thermometer, I think. I thought you could. But, ow, don't fall in. I guess not. And then you can clean up any leftovers by throwing a bunch of quartz slivers in. Cool. So that's, at least our first batch of alchemical brass, except thaumium. It took a little bit of looking, but for thaumium, which is made from precantatio and terra, my plan is to use mana steel for the precantatio and dirt for the terra. And all the leftover metal, I'll just absorb with quartz slivers again. I'll throw that, and then pick up the extra. Make sure I get it all. Because you don't want to leave any behind. It'll really mess your day up down the road. Cool. And lastly, to make niter, it's coal plus glowstone, plus more glowstone. And we suck up the remains with more quartz. And alright, so that should be this quest taken care of. Looks like I've already done that. Let's see, the next quest looks like it's about smelting down items into their essentia, and then we can get to infusion. So let's do that. as I'm working towards getting all the research points I need, well, that one doesn't need research points, but say this needs alchemy points, I've had to throw a bunch of stuff in our crucible, and the flux in this chunk has actually gone up a fair bit. In fact, am I right on a chunk border? I'm not. But as you can see, there's the dark purple in the upper left-hand corner is the flux, and it's gone up a fair bit. It's starting to distribute to nearby chunks as well. So at this point, I do need to be somewhat careful not to accidentally overfill our crucible, because flux is, generally speaking, a bad thing. Anyways, the reason I have to throw a bunch of stuff in there is because for a lot of these researches, it asks me to acquire these crystals. But you can see they give a lot of progress. And in fact, our alchemy progress is now over 100%. I've also run out of paper, so let me get a bit more paper so we can continue. All right, so let's try to close out this theory so I can get my alchemy points. Ponder. And again, here's another thing that, if I want to do some of these, I need to give it these items. But for now, since I'm just trying to complete the theory, let's just use up our little light bulbs. I can't take that one because that would screw up our alchemy, so I need Ignis and Spiritus. I can do that. And Spiritus. Alright, so let's grab that. And that, one more light bulb. Sure. So since we have over 100%, I'm pretty sure that'll give us a point. And that's the point we needed to complete this. Cool. So yeah, that's basically the research progress. I got to keep doing it to get alchemy points and yada yada yada. And it is possibly the most boring thing in the world. So I'm not going to do any more of it on camera. Now, this particular quest wants me to get one of each of these crystals, which I guess I'll just have to do. Apparently, great wood cannot be turned into planks by hand. There's a bunch of recipes here, but none of them turn them into planks, so we have to make a sawmill to do it. And we'll just borrow your overclockers for now. Much better. Added benefit of we get 6 planks per, so I guess the sawmill is just a good-to-have machine all around. I've been doing some crafting in this chunk, and you can see in the upper left now that pink bar is almost empty. I've basically used all the Vis or V that's available in it, but it recharges reasonably quickly over time, so it's not like the end of the world to use it up. Thus far, we've only been working with Essentia in liquid form, I guess you could call it, basically in slurry form, when you toss items into the crucible. However, now that we have the smeltery, we can boil items down into their Essentia and distill it, I guess it's more into liquid form, a more pure form. So the way it works is that if we get some coal or any, furnace fuel, you can power it with any furnace fuel, but if you power it with aluminium, it's a bit more efficient. However, this is also kind of a pain to make, so I'm not going to bother with that for now. Apparently, you have to use thermal foundation coal coke to make it as well. Anyways, so for now, we'll power it with coal, and then all we have to do is put items in there to melt down. Let's see. What should I start with? This quest wants Vidium, Vanicium, Alien. Well, okay. Vidium. What gets Vidium? Taint. This is one of the harder ones to get without intentionally tainting your world. So let's see. What here can I make? I guess Enia potion? You know what? Let's... Oh, another wart. Okay, that'll do. I have 20. Here, I'll use 10 of it. So if you throw it in here, it'll melt the item down into a slurry and then distill it into the alembic. And if we look at the alembic through a thermometer, you can see that it has... It won't tell me. Well, anyways, if you click it with the worded jar, it'll take the resource out of it. So it had herba in it. Maybe I have to make the goggles of revealing. Let's make those real quick. Just kidding. I don't have enough leather on hand to make this right now, and I don't think there's enough time left in this episode. So for now, we'll do the guess and check method. Now, with a single alembic here, it'll just fill with it can only hold one aspect at a time. You can put, I think, up to 3 on top, and while it won't distill any faster, if this alembic is full of, say, herba, the next one will fill with vidium. So I just have to empty it out, I guess. Yeah, so these are the 3 aspects that were in, what was it I melted down? Nether War. Cool. So now, when I have it in these warded jars, I can use them in, pure form, which is slightly different from using them in slurry form. Anyways, working with this essentia is the next step in Thaumcraft, but I think we're out of time for today. So we'll come back next time, continue down our alchemy. There's a few cool things left in here, but ultimately we want to work our way into arcane infusion, because this is what will allow us to make the empowerer, which is one of the final goals in stage 2 or tier 2. So a bit of work left to get there. I expect we should get there maybe near the end of next episode. In any event, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.